So here we are on part two of how to harm your kids for life. So we looked at that issue before, if you'd like to see it on shame. But now I want to go to another odd extreme that I've noticed a good bit in this culture. And when I say to harm your child for life, I mean installing something in their person that continues to mess them up for the rest of their lives. You don't want to do that. I know what you want to do is equip them to do well in this world. It's what I want for my kids, what I know you want for yours. And in understanding this, I just want you to appreciate that I, as the dad of five kids, four boys and a girl, and Jody is the mom of five kids, four boys and a girl, have spent a good bit of time trying to circumnavigate those shark infested waters of doing damage to the kids. And occasionally, even as adults, I kind of admit to them where I goofed up. And I've shared some of that in these vlogs with you as well. But there are other areas that I think we did a little better than that. And we were able to learn lessons from other wiser people, from examples of people that made mistakes, and then from our own upbringing, where in our cases, our parents did some really good things, as well as some less than perfect. So, how to harm your kids for life, part two. The first is to shame them. The second, if you want to really harm your child for life, is to spoil them. This word we don't really think of the way it's kind of meant. You know, meat spoils or milk can spoil. It's kind of the same thing. You're talking about a child being interacted with in a way that they're sort of ruined as a person. Now, no one is permanently ruined because everyone can grow. But what tends to happen is that spoiling is kind of an overindulgence, that we make things so easy for a child that they don't learn how to overcome obstacles, how to overcome difficulties, how to endure through criticism and trials. And the fact is that all of life is loaded with trials. And if we do for them what they can learn to do for themselves, in a way we cripple them. So what we're trying to do is offer them the opportunity to figure it out, to grow, to mature, and in a safe home and a safe environment. What we tend to do when we spoil our kids is we have this weird idea that if they're happy when they're young, they'll be happy when they're old. And so we try to make them happy, and we give them way too much of whatever, ice creams, presents, gifts, stuff, things, over comfort. Everything is never their fault. They're never responsible for anything. We're going to make up for all of it all the time. And I'm going to tell you, that is not what life is going to be about. Life is going to be about them receiving some information from other people, like a boss, that is not happy with their performance. And what do? Well, you're just mean. My mommy and daddy would never talk to me that way. They said I was wonderful. They said I could be anything I wanted to be. In fact, whenever anything went bad, they gave me something more. You don't want to do that. It rewards the wrong thing. I remember some years ago, some friends had a daughter that was having a challenge, and she was doing a really bad behavior, and part of the theory was because she was reacting to her sister. It doesn't matter. But the dad told me, after I said, well, we're thinking she probably feels neglected, so we're going to take her out and get some ice cream. And I said to him, I'm not sure that doing this really bad behavior deserves going out and having a special time with mom and dad to get ice cream. That'll kind of reward, seems to me, the behavior itself. See, a lot of times we don't think these pieces through, and I'm trying to invite you to do that. Spoiling your mistreating your child is not the answer either, but spoiling your child, indulging them. Look, that's the grandparents' job, okay? And if you don't have good grandparents on either side, then get friends to become aunt and uncle and let them spoil your kids a little bit, okay? You don't need to be doing that. You're trying to prepare them for life. They will appreciate it someday. You just endure. You don't overindulge them. You let them encounter things and work through them. You don't rescue them at any moment. You don't make everything ridiculously easy for them. When you do that, you take away the opportunity to really learn how to endure through trials and how to take external discipline, from the outside and bringing in their souls so they have self-discipline. You want to not harm your child by taking to heart the idea that spoiling them can be one extreme example of a way to really cause damage. And we want to love them, and we want to respect them, and we want to honor them. We want them to know they're special and they're embraced and loved and all that great stuff. But they also need to know that sometimes you lose at a game, and sometimes things don't go right, and sometimes you don't do as well on a test or an essay. And then you get up, you take a deep breath, and you learn from it, and then you try something different until you do overcome it. That is the essence of what it means not to spoil a child. Hope this helps.